Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast, where nightmares meet the light, shadows entwine. Tonight we dive deep into the horror scene, with Rod and Ricky in the asylum, Amy living the dream. Hear the howl of the night echo in your mind, where the rebels of fright, leaving no soul behind. Movers and shakers, we've got the scoop. Filmmakers and actors, they're part of our group. Indie horror lovers, gather all around, bringing the edge, where true tales are found. With every wound that bleeds, a story to tell. Join us, laugh, where the haunted begins.
Yeah, is that a dance of track or what, huh?
Well, I'm telling you, it's a good time. It makes me smile every week.
I know I see you bopping downstairs there. So, all right, hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast. We've got a great guest on today. We've got Chase Dudley, who I've been working
Yes,
to get
sir.
on the show for quite a while. So it's glad that the stars finally aligned and we got him on here. Got a lot of stuff to pick his brain about, a lot of stuff he wants to talk to us about. So before we bring him on, let's just do a little quick housekeeping, get you caught up with everything happening in the world of Indie Horror Junkie. First and foremost, we have, as we always say, The Clock. The
Yes,
Clock is our
indeed.
first feature film. It's available pretty much on every streaming service you can imagine. It just got on the Roku channel. It's on Screamify, Tubi, Amazon Plex, Vudu, all that good stuff. So definitely you can check it out streaming. You can also purchase the Blu-ray, which has a couple of special features, which is audio commentary from myself and the incredibly insane Salo Zayas, my DP. And it also has a little featurette on there about an old-time radio show called Hickory Dickory Doom, which is essentially what the movie is based on. So definitely check out the Blu-ray. You can buy it at indiehorrorjunkie.com or through Bayview Entertainment, and that's available. Next up, we have Reels of the Dead, which we keep pimping and talking to you about every week. Reels of the Dead is going to be our first original Indie Horror Junkie horror anthology. Asylum Amy and myself will be starring in this, and it's going to be a wraparound story that's going to include 3 original short films, one of which is called Fear Good, which is about a character that we introduced quite a while ago through Indie Horror Junkie that you're going to be hearing a lot more about, and then 2 other original short films that we will be showing you and discussing here very, very soon. So we definitely are very excited about that. Next up, we have, of course, Nightmare Collection. We have Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3, all on DVD and available through Indie Horror Junkie. You can buy them individually, or you can buy them as the Unholy Trilogy for a little bit of a discounted rate. It tells the tale of Necro Nancy, and it started back in 2001 and continued until we filmed the last one, Part 3. What was it, last year, I think it was, or a little bit before?
Yep.
Yes. And it includes our original short film, The Turning. So definitely you can get the copies at indiehorrorjunkie.com, so check that out. We also want to pimp out one of our biggest sponsors, Tarot Cards. Lance, tell them what Tarot Cards is about.
Oh, Tarot Cards is a fabulous app. It's free to download. It's a trading card app featuring nothing but terror and horror characters from movies, mostly independent films, most of which I've actually reviewed, which is really exciting for me. So we've got Acrostar on there with Disremembered. We've got Joe Hollow on there with The Flesh of the Unforgiven. Of course, we have Indie Horror Junkies, The Clock. And my buddy Brad, the CEO over at the B Stream, Thursday the 12th just got released on Tarot Cards. Nice. So Brad's got his own trading card. So go download it. It's free. Trade with your friends. Like I say, they're like the Pokemon. You got to collect them all.
Absolutely. Great app. And they chime in here on the show regularly too as well. But like Lance said, it is free to download. So check it out. It's a really cool and unique concept, and they're adding to it all the time. Next up, we want to let you know that this is our latest issue, which is issue number 19, that stars the cover is Eileen Dietz, which many of you will remember as the voice of the demon from our all-time favorite Christmas movie, The Exorcist. That is available currently right now. That's a little makeup of the worksheet on the right there, showing you all the different articles that are involved. So it's a big, beautiful issue, 40 pages of color and indie horror goodness. It's available right now through Indie Horror Junkie. And as of tomorrow is launch day for issue number 20. There we go.
Indeed.
The Fork Retreat is on the cover. That's a who's who of genre favorites in that film. I mean, it's amazing, all the people they got in there. Tony Todd, one of his last roles.
Wow.
Fuzz on the Lens were the co-producers of that. I mean, we're excited to have that in there. It's also got Sarah French is our indie horror hottie. She is amazing. I can't wait for you guys to read about her and see all the different things that she's involved in and check out some of the images we have. This magazine actually starts shipping tomorrow and will be available tomorrow for download for the digital version as well. And like I said, the print version starts shipping out tomorrow. You can pre-order through tonight. As of midnight, then the pre-order process is done. So if you pre-order, you get a free digital copy of any one of our back issues as well. So if you want to get this issue, go ahead and order it tonight. That way you got it getting shipped out tomorrow, but you can also take advantage and get a free digital copy of any of the issues you want from our back order. So that's for tomorrow. Last but not least, we want to mention a little short film that I am going to be filming that I'm really excited about. It's a little movie called They're Here. We're really excited about it. And I want to show you just a little quick, like 30-second teaser that we put together just to kind of hopefully, get you excited about it. Here we go. That's about as teasy, I think, as you can get. So yeah, just a little something.
Still very cool.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're very excited about this. We film it next month. It'll be ready by the end of the year, and then we'll see. We're going to be entering into a bunch of film festivals, so definitely keep an eye out. But the last thing we do want to mention to you is that the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest is available. It is open right now for submissions. We are accepting shorts, features. If you've got one, send it to us, because the last year was a blowout event. The next year it's going to be March 19th through 22nd at MegaCon Convention. If you've never been to MegaCon, it is an amazing experience. It's going to be myself, Lance, Asylum Amy, and 250,000 of our closest friends over there, and they put on an amazing show. We're going to have wall-to-wall horror, shorts and features. And this year we're going to be doing all 4 days instead of just 3. So we'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you've got a short or a feature you want in there, you better get it in there now, because the deadline is quickly approaching. And to show you just that, we have this too. Yeah, we are very excited about that event. That event is an unbelievable time. Lots of filmmakers come out there. We had a bunch of celebrity guests, vendors. We do panels, so you get to meet the filmmakers. We're giving away all kinds of merch and all that good stuff. But we wanted to hurry up and rush through that, I don't know what you call it, housekeeping, to get you caught up on all the stuff that we were doing, because I really want to get to our guest, who's somebody that, like I said, we've been trying to get on here for quite a while. So I'm glad things have finally aligned. So as we normally do, we're going to show you a quick trailer for his latest film. It's a movie that we're all looking forward to checking out. It's called Blood on the Bleachers. So check it out. When you get done, Chase will be here with us. Here you go.
Christine, what do you think makes a person a killer? Such a complex question this early in the morning. What do you think the answer is?
Mr. Reynolds, would you mind giving us a review of the other Austin Memoir high murders, please?
There were 2 more victims over the course of the months. First, Lindsay Crawford, biology instructor, murdered at home. 2, Jennifer Morgan, assaulted in her home's bathroom.
I'm working on this case Mr. Reynolds assigned. It's some fake-ass story he told us just so that we would come up with some fairy tale case. The killer stabbed his victims with a hunting knife, and it is really unusual for a serial killer to suddenly change their MO.
Can you give us an update on the current investigation of these horrible murders? Are there any suspects yet?
We've been in constant communication with a local law enforcement task force that's assigned to these cases. And so far, there are no suspects.
Yo, Psycho, where's Kim and Justin at?
You want to be next, asshole?
Oh. Psycho's making threats. I'm shit when you get me loose.
The police are on this case. Trust me, we are going to find whoever did this.
Yeah, well, they better hurry up, because someone needs to be put behind bars.
Enough! I can arrest both of you if you don't listen to me. Do I make myself clear?
Everyone thinks that I'm obsessive, but I feel like the answer's right in front of my face.
You're going to make a great investigator someday. This is a career that will eat you alive. Detectives were driven by a passion to bring justice to every crime, and we even go out of our way to stop crimes from happening. But it just isn't possible to solve all of it, no matter how hard we try.
Dude. Hey, look what it is. Killer himself. Now we know. How you doing, Chase? Very cool looking trailer, man. Very, very cool.
Thank you. What's going on, guys?
So let's jump right into it. What's the status of that film?
It is actually released. It is on streaming. It is on Google Play, YouTube. I don't know what the holdup is about Tubi. I noticed Tubi's been holding projects a couple months before they've been released. Last year when Broken Innocence released, it was on Tubi within like a couple days after it was released on Amazon. So I have no idea, because a lot of people are like, hey, when is it going to be on Tubi? I don't know. They don't tell us anything.
It may just be backed up for all we know. I'm not quite sure how that process works.
Yeah, I don't either, because it changes, you know. We know that it passed the QC. It's doing really good on Amazon and YouTube. So, but I can't wait for it to get on Tubi, because that's usually where filmmakers make the most revenue.
Yep, and that's also because it's free and everybody has it. So, absolutely.
Well, I highly recommend it. I had this is like a full circle moment for me, by the way, because I reviewed the film. You know, I was on the same episode. Rick invited me to come on because I reviewed it, where we talked to Sean, and Sean was gracious enough to invite me to work on his film, The Hive. And now I'm talking to Chase, who is like the catalyst for all of this happening. So I appreciate Chase and I appreciate Rick. So
well,
I appreciate Sean.
That means a lot to me, because you don't always hear the feedback. I'm glad that that all transpired, but I have to tell you, Sean Thompson, we worked together on Broken Innocence and Blood in the Bleachers. He was my stunt coordinator, and he's a phenomenal actor as well, and he wears many hats.
Yes.
So it was a no-brainer to bring him back for Blood in the Bleachers. I love how he's just like an encyclopedia. He's very, very relaxed, but very, very intelligent. And I have a funny experience. We were shooting Blood in the Bleacher. He literally just got off the plane, and he was ready to go in a costume. And we were supposed to film something, and he made a really good point. And me and my DP, it went over our head. So he was like, don't you think we should film this? And I was like, no, we're going to shoot this way and then right there. And then it clearly made no sense. And he just calmly looked at me. He just went, I'm confused. I love Sean to death. He, like I said, he's he's like one of those guys. Like he will be great in a scene where he's being very overly aggressive but super calm. He just has one of those abilities to him. He's just a really relaxed guy. I'm like, I would just like to see him just lose his stuff with somebody.
Just one time.
Just one time, because he's just always relatively just very calm.
Mm-hmm. That's the way he was on the podcast, yeah.
Like that. You know?
Well, it should also be noted, Sean doesn't actually, like, he's the man behind the mask, but he doesn't actually have a character in the film. So
he does actually. He was in the opening scene, or not the opening scene. He was like he was on a podcast. He was the guy interviewing.
Yes. But even though he's the guy behind the mask, he's not. That's not the character.
He's not that guy. No.
Yeah, he's not the killer. We're not going to give anything away.
No, like he was so like, but that's again how he just under the radar. He's just that guy. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Hispanic version of Christoph Waltz.
Oh, wow. That's a great actor. That's high praise there.
Very good. I love Sean, man. We go way back. You know, he so when he launched the Hive, and because I mean, he was telling me that idea when we were on a set for Broken Innocence, and that was in 2023. He was like, I really want to get my own film off the ground and do it indie. And you know, he really reached out to me about like what's the best way to go, and I'm just like, dude, just really try to get everybody in the loop of what you're doing, and just it's kind of like it's like running for office. It's like people are going to get tired of hearing about your project, but you have to be very over to the moon about your own project, because if you don't get the word out, if you're not enthused, how do you expect to get others involved in what you're doing? You have to love it. Just like you can tell your movie The Clock. That was a great movie. I wish my first feature film is in my vault, and it's not even listed on IMDb.
You got a friend here popped on. What up, Chase? Doug Perfido.
What's going on, Doug Perfetto? Hey, this guy right here is the coolest laid-back guy you would ever meet. He is so chill, such a great actor, and he's just like, I love how excited he is every time I talk to him. He's like, oh, it's going to be unbelievable. So when we worked on Blood in the Bleachers, he came in very late because Leonora, he's really good friends with Leonora, and she was like, you got to get a part of this project. And I had an opening, and he ended up playing Kimberly's father. And I needed like more of a conservative like dad figure. And Doug, he has that build. He has that build. Like he can just look at you without saying anything, but it's like Bruce Willis stare. It's a stare that means something. And his silence is a presence. So he did so good, and we really hit it off so well. I was like, dude, I got to get you back for my next film, The Desperate, as a villain. So he's like, oh, dude, unbelievable. I love it. Thank you so much. That's exactly how he talks. He has like that voice. Like it's just like he sounds like you don't want to owe him money.
I haven't had the chance to actually meet him yet.
I always check in with him every once in a while. Hey, we're you know, he's from Jersey, so you know he don't.
Yeah, there you go. Also, Lance, no more spoilers. Just letting you know, people are paying attention, so no more spoilers. You know, when we talk about these movies. But no,
I don't give spoilers. I mean, even for movies I'm not in. One of the things, like when I first watch a new movie, I had to watch it by myself, because as I'm watching the movie, my kids love to ask me as I'm watching the movie, what's going on? Why is he doing that? And I'm just like,
I'm watching it for the first time too. I don't know.
It's still playing. They usually answer those, and then if they don't, we can have a conversation after the movie about what we think that meant.
Yep.
I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Batman and Robin. I hate when people talk to us in movies.
And
I can't stand it. So I vowed. I said, now I watch movies alone for the first time by myself. I go to the movies alone, and then if it's good and I think that they're gonna like it, then we go. But I never go to the movies with them now because they ask me questions.
And I think we first started chatting right around the beginning of Blood in the Bleachers, because that's why we put it in the magazine here, issue number 9.
Yes.
And we're on
Yes.
issue number 20 now, so it's been a little while since we've been chatting about this. But really excited.
Yes, actually, I can't even take credit for that because there was Gregory Brock, who was an AD on the film, that reached out to you guys. And it comes full circle because when Nicole Vegas introduced us, where I actually seen a face behind you actually sent me an article, and I'm like, oh, you wrote one on Blood of the Bleachers, and I was like, oh, that's so that goes to show you the indie world of what it is. But it's finally, I'm glad to see a face behind the article, because when he sent me the screenshot you guys sent out, like I guess the template, I was like, dude, this is like one of the greatest looking promos I've gotten.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We like to try and raise the flag for all independent filmmakers and stuff. And you guys are doing good work out there. We have a question here for you. Dean is asking, where was it filmed? I'm assuming
Blood of the Bleachers was filmed in Hardin County, Kentucky. It's about 45 minutes south of Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, is that where you live, up in that area?
Yeah, I live in E-Town.
Okay. One of the questions I like to ask all the filmmakers too, especially when they're in different places, is what's the indie film scene like there? Because some people will tell me there is none. We pretty much have to get everybody to come in from outside. Other ones say it's booming and they have no problems getting cast, crew. What's it like over there?
In Louisville, which is about 45 minutes north, Louisville's film scene, we got with the tax incentive coming back because the previous governor took it away. Yeah. And then they actually bought it back. And now a lot of big movies are coming back. So Louisville has a lot of filmmakers. And Lexington, Kentucky, which is about an hour and a half from me, they actually got a professional studio. It's LEX Studios, and that's really nice. They just built that. So Kentucky has really grown in popularity along with Cincinnati. So there's a lot of stuff going on in E-Town. There's filmmakers here. I heard them by name but never met them. It's just I think we don't mean to be that way. It's just sometimes I think we're always on the grind so much where we don't really stop to talk. But although I feel like it should be a thing, and that's why this year I tested out this. We did several conventions. And I realized that I am missing the boat. I need to get my butt out there and start going. So now we're going to Vegas. We submitted our film to your film festival that you had advertised, and hopefully,
it's got my vote.
Hopefully we get in. Yeah. But yeah, we actually did really well with Blood in the Bleachers. Broken Innocence, we actually did pretty well, but since it was more of a drama, it actually went to some really high-end festivals overseas in Europe. We did really well here in the U.S. We just won a pretty big award at the Scarefest, and that put us at 33 awards that we won for Blood in the Bleachers. So
nice.
Very nice.
These two films alone that we've done, we won. That's pretty much. It came out of nowhere because I used to always get rejected at film festivals. I was like, what? Why do they love me?
I know. And the worst part about that is when you get rejected, more often than not, you have no idea why. You get no feedback or anything like that. It's just that, hey, your film wasn't accepted.
You get an automated response, and but you can tell it's like a breakup from the most beautiful girl ever. And she's like, if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that you'll notice, too, if you get accepted into the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest that we've been doing from the get-go, is that anybody who's accepted, even if you don't win an award, if you're just accepted, you're going to get feedback from all the judges. So at least you'll have that. What worked with your film, what they liked, what they did, and these are all industry professionals. So we get a lot of.
I really like that because that's the first thing I ask. I'm Absolutely. More like, hey, I ask for feedback before I asked if you like it, because the reality is that I want to grow, and I know every film there's something. Even the best films ever, there's something to take away from that. And I've already already looked back on Blood in the Bleachers and kind of like, ooh, if I can go back, what I would have done. But it's one of those things, you know, it's a film is never done. You learn to move on. That's what David Fincher said. And that is totally true, because sometimes I will watch, like, I've seen Broken Innocence. My daughter was watching it, and I stopped for a scene and I looked and I was like, why in the world did I do that? That's why I don't ever go back to I keep moving, because it's just one of those things. Like, it's I think as an artist, we never are done. We just learn to go, okay, I'm done putting my energy here and I got to move on.
I don't think there's a perfect film, unfortunately. Maybe with the exception of Smokey and the Bandit and Predator. But aside from those two,
I would say Jurassic Park for me.
Really?
Jurassic Park is my very favorite film. I would say Jurassic Park. I would say Jaws is number 2.
Oh, you got Rick's attention.
I would say Pulp Fiction. Then I would say Terminator 2.
Very nice.
Then I'll say True Lies. Then Django Unchained.
I love them. I love everything Tarantino does. I just, as a filmmaker,
I don't love everything that Tarantino does. I love Tarantino as a creator. I was very I'm pretty sure you can give 2 craps what I think, but I was very underwhelmed with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh.
I like the dialogue. I'd like it more as I watch it, but I think if another filmmaker did that movie, I think it would have gotten more flack. I just think it was, compared to some of his earlier work like Pulp Fiction, Django, and Kill Bill, those 3 was flying on all cylinders. I felt like it's his movie, and of course he can do whatever he wants with this movie. But me as a fan, I wish he would have done more of an accurate depiction of Manson. He literally got the same actor that Mindhunter got for Charles Manson. And if it was more based off the Manson murders of that night, I think Tarantino was the perfect filmmaker to do a massacre movie in that realm.
I can understand what you're saying there. I love the movie, but I think I loved it for different reasons. To me, I think I loved that movie because it was almost like stepping into a time machine and being a part.
Yeah, it was a love letter to the classic Hollywood, and again, it's his movie. That was what he wanted to do. I'm sure like he said, he watches and loves his own movie. But for me, I guess I'm being selfish as a fan. When I heard that he was doing a Manson biopic, I was so excited, and I'm like, didn't he get Margaret Robbie, who really could pass as? I'm like, oh my God, everything's going good. You get Al Pacino. Oh my God, Al Pacino. You get Al Pacino. You get all these amazing actors. I really felt
it's almost a caricature of what it should have been, or what it could have been, I should say.
Yeah, I watch my words, because who am I to tell him what he should have done? The man is Hollywood royalty. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I would be lucky to even sit at that table. I just wish, to me, it just didn't. To me, his last 2 movies just did not do anything for me in terms of what Django did for me. Django was just like, wow, this is Tarantino at his best. And the production value, the dialogue, things that I'm laughing at in the movie that I probably shouldn't be laughing at, because I was laughing a little too hard, where I thought I was going to get beat up by black people because I was laughing too hard. Because there was some black people that turned around like,
really? You thought that was funny?
It's funny. Like,
funny's funny, man. Funny is funny.
Because I'm sorry, but the line where he goes, by the way, why does he call himself Eskimo Joe? And he goes, you never know how these nicknames get started. His name was Joe. Maybe one day he said it was Cole. That's the thing. I don't know why, but only Tarantino can write that, you know?
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio, their chemistry was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of questions here for you. Let's see. Oh, first off,
yes. I'm sorry. I kind of really derailed.
Jaws, yes.
Jurassic Park and Jaws. Yes,
absolutely.
Dude, I'm telling you, like it made me have butterflies that I was just like, I knew I was going to do in life. I told my parents I'm going to be a filmmaker, and like, I can't say my mom laughed at me, but a lot of people that I knew personally, they laughed at me. It was like, you could never do that.
No.
Now they're like, hey, you did PA?
Now they know better.
We also have another one here from Tarot Cards. What influences, movies, or current events went into coming up with Blood on the Bleachers? Good question.
Thank you. That is a great question. So for me, as we were talking about love letters, the love letter for Blood on the Bleachers was Scream 1996, which is my favorite slasher film of all time. I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is up there. And Urban Legends 1998. Okay. Those three films really, it was just something about the 90s slasher after Scream that came out that just really resonated with me. I was so obsessed with Scream, I got suspended many times for going to school dressed as Ghostface. And like my mom and my dad was like, look, you got to get it together, son. Like, get that out of, like, I was obsessed. Like, I loved movies, and that's all I did. I was the very socially awkward kid that I didn't have, like, I didn't go to parties. I didn't like go out and hang out. Like, I was watching movies, rewind, studying, watching behind the scenes. And it was probably very unhealthy to my parents. I'm pretty sure they were tired of me being in the house of like, get your butt out there and go do something. So when they gave me a camcorder, then I never came home. And then I got in trouble for the exact opposite of what they were yelling about.
Son, you still need to get it together.
It's just so nice. Son, why are you out 2:00 in the morning? I'm filming. Hang on. I'm shooting this crime scene, and a secret ingredient right now is crime.
No, I remember when watching Blood on the Bleachers too. Like, it was prominent, the influence of Scream in that film.
Oh yeah.
And the way I looked at it, it wasn't an imitation. It was almost like you wanted to emulate it. Like, but you did enough with Blood on the Bleachers to differentiate it from Scream.
Yeah, and one thing I really try to make sure that I do, because I see it's a huge problem, and it's
welcome to the Nerd Club.
I don't know if somebody. What did he say? I missed that.
He said, "Welcome to the Nerd Club."
To the Nerd Club.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm a total nerd.
100%. Me too.
Dude, that's all I'm doing is talking movies. I can tell you lines like from movie, like a playbook, and like people used to think I was like really out there because I would just quote a movie and people look at me, well, you watch too many movies. You do a life. And I'm like, I do have one.
We're gonna need a bigger podcast.
And like the fact that I'm doing this for a living, and like now there's people who share that obsession, and I go to conventions and I'm talking to filmmakers like you, and it's like, okay, I'm not crazy. For a while, like before I started being associated around other filmmakers, I used to wonder, like, like.
It's not just you, trust me. I'll say.
Am I a Stab fan? Like, that's going too crazy.
My daughter asks me all the time because I'll quote something or I'll say something from like an old song or an old movie, and she's like, "Does everything always have to go back to an '80s movie with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, yes, it does."
Pretty much.
You weren't there.
That's right. 80s to me is the best. I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as 90s go with the slashers with Scream, because Scream is brilliant. Absolutely. So there's definitely that. But to me, everything goes back to the 80s for me. I mean,
we definitely.
And I would be lying because the 80s had a huge, like, meeting Lisa Wilcox and working with her and meeting her in person. I was a total fanboy over, like I love Lisa Wilcox, and she's absolutely phenomenal. She's the greatest. And so meeting her and just having a conversation with her, and her seeing how, like, I called my parents so she knew I was not kidding. Freddy was the first movie that I watched that scared the bejesus out of me. And I remember. You remember that scene where Freddy tried to pull in the tub? We had a tub very similar to that, and whenever they tried to make me take a bath, it took my mom, my dad, my brothers. They had to call over. It was like several people. It was like me getting baptized, and I probably looked like a baptized gremlin then because like I was squirming and they had to hold me under, and everybody was soaking wet because I was convinced Freddie was going to come and get me. But you know, my brothers, you know, we all watched it, so I love the '80s, and I acknowledge it as great. But I feel the '80s, everybody's kind of gotten love, and I feel like the '90s kind of just. Although the '90s, one thing I guess what I'm saying is the '90s for me, it had a meta sense to it of where now I feel like the meta in the '90s went over our heads, and I felt like at the time it wasn't appreciated. And I think now we're kind of going back and going, wait, that is actually really clever. Like, look at Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. That is the meta, like Wes Craven's meta is so brilliant. I don't think any other filmmaker has ever made like such a meta, like in terms of what Wes Craven has done. And he left a huge legacy. Look at, I mean, his very first film, The Last House on the Left, he blessed us with, you know, he's put on some of the greatest franchises. I mean, like, look at A Nightmare on Elm Street, look at Scream, Wishmaster. I mean, you know, The Last House on the Left, The People Under the Stairs, Vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah. I'm a big Wes Craven fan. So when Leonora, you know, she gave me a compliment and said that, you know, she's like, you remind me a lot of Wes. That I was like, I'm not even nowhere near that shadow. Don't even. But I appreciate the jester. Absolutely. I would never be nowhere near Wes. But I you know, working with Leonora Schiaffo twice. And she is such a very talented, serious actress, you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I didn't get a chance to actually be on set with her, but I was in a movie that she was in called The Inn. I opened up the movie, and my character gets killed off right at the beginning, but she was also in that as well. But we got a couple of movies. Something else. Huh? What was that?
She is something else. I love Leonora. She reminds me so much of Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl.
Wow.
Okay.
I have to check that out.
I was like, dude, that movie was, because she was like, I really want to do that, bro. Because like when I watched that, like dude, I wish I could like pull up a picture, but if you do that when we leave, like you'll see the resemblance. I'm like, dude, you should be her for Halloween.
Wow. Yeah.
Leonora, she is like she is super serious and super focused, and she wants to do so well. Like I was appreciative because you know when she did A Desperate, she was like one of the lead roles. She was on the phone with me every day, making sure that she got this right. She's like, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. It's like, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm hoping I'm not getting on your nerves. And I'm like, no, it tells me that you care.
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of just showing up and winging it, right? Absolutely. All right, let's bring up this image I have here of some of your films. Obviously, that's Cut to the Chase Entertainment. Well, we talked about Blood on the Bleachers already. You just mentioned The Desperate. I really want to get into this latest one, Between the Living and the Dead. Let me know a little bit about this, where this came from, and I believe you guys just launched a Kickstarter campaign yesterday, right?
Yes, we did, and considering that we was supposed to launch on Indiegogo and it got denied because of the new terms, it was really, really weird. We submitted because now the new rules, you got to submit it 5 days before, and you got to get approved. Well, it's always been approved, but usually it's never been a problem. But for some reason, they did not approve it. So then we had to figure it out. So we just was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go with Kickstarter. And Brett Wagner, what's going on? I got a surprise, Mr. Brett Wagner.
Uh-oh.
But, you know, so we was just like, you know what, we're just going to go with Kickstarter. So we launched, and considering that so many people were confused that we were supposed to launch last Friday, then when we got approved for Kickstarter, it was on the weekend. We did about 15,000 on our first day.
Nice.
But we did it in such a short notice because we did 46,000 for day one on the Desperate. But for the Desperate, I was talking to people for months before we launched, so I was way more prepared. I did this one a little bit more spontaneous because I'm shooting next April. So I don't really have very long. But with this film, I'm super excited because I've always wanted to do a post-apocalyptic film. And the movie like The Road, The Last of Us, The Walking Dead. All of that have like an element in this film, but instead of zombies, I really wanted to do a movie of what would a society be if there was a lack of food, and where would civilization go? And this research
Probably much darker.
There's no probably to it. I think George Carlin made a really good point about humanity. We're barely out of the jungle, because I think if all of that goes back, because again, if to say, God forbid, to say we lost electricity because everything's ran on computers practically, most of the prisons will go to default. They like, so some of the craziest criminals in the world is locked up will be released at the dime. The water supply that is ran off of computers, we wouldn't have clean water. It's so many things that if this was to happen, this is where we will be. And just imagine no law and order, a world like that. And I was like, there's so much to build off of that.
Yeah. It would be crazy. I mean, total chaos. And like you said, there's so many things that even we wouldn't talk about right now that we just take for granted, and you wouldn't know that how it would change everything should that all go down. Don't even want to think about anything like that.
So it's post-apocalyptic, but without the zombies.
Yes. And that's my niche, because a lot of my films, I did not notice I had this pattern. It was someone who mentioned it to me. Apparently, I'm more into like real life stories, and I want to do a supernatural, but a lot of I think I'm just fascinated with
So true.
I mean, he might not be wrong.
He might not be wrong. You might have to rename this.
I would say California, because California was a lot of people are sleeping there. But I just really wanted to see what a movie would be like with no law and order, and just because I mean, what really got me with this idea was my wife and I, we were Christmas shopping. This was back before we even started doing movies full time. This is when we were like super broke, like on a very fixed income, you know. For Black Friday, we were like, hey, let's try to get this TV that they got on sale. And just seeing how violent people was over a flat screen TV after they was just praying, thankful that they had this meal. You know, just like, okay, if they would do this over TV, if we had no food or water, you seen people when like we were locked down in COVID with no toilet paper, what was doing, like, again, that's why I said we're barely out of the jungle. Like,
no,
so
that's a great concept, because I think a lot of times, I mean, I refer to it a lot. Like usually it's humans who are the real monsters. So
we are.
Well, that's kind of what they talk about in The Walking Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
The zombies are.
And again, that's why I mentioned The Walking Dead, because it is going to have some of those elements. It's like it's going to even be different type of villains in this movie, in a sense, or if you even want to call them that, because everybody, it's like a eat or be eaten world. So you're gonna have cannibals, you're gonna have roadmen, you're gonna have biker groups, you're gonna have like people doing, you know, like using people as cattle. Is you're gonna have like all kinds of different types of different people in this movie. And that's why I said this is like, I've done dark movies, but this is going to be the darkest in terms, like I read the script the other day, and man, I watched The Lion King after I read the script.
Just a level thing up.
I'm like, come here, Bryce, let's watch The Lion King. I just can't wait to be king. Like,
that's funny.
This film is dark.
Because you mentioned.
So what was go ahead, Rick.
I was going to say, you mentioned a movie called The Road when you talked about that, and I remember seeing that, and that was a very.
That was the first movie that kind of made me think about that, like, because you know, when that movie came out, you know, I was in my late 20s. You know, you think like, oh, I'm living my best life. I hope nothing. You know, you don't think about like if everything goes. You know, like I think we take life so for granted, because even though like how bad my day might be, I'm not like having a day like Anne Frank, where she's living in a attic for 4 years, eating potatoes every day, hoping that she doesn't get caught. Or, you know, I never lived through slavery. And so like some of the things that I see that we argue and bicker over online. I'm just like, man, there's people right now that have it really worse right now. There's probably somebody right now in the Middle East eating dinner and a bomb's about to drop on them. And it's just the reality of some people and how great that me and my family have. And I'm just blessed for that. And I try not to take that for granted. And that's why I try to tell stories that resonate, to just kind of show people like, man, no matter how good you have it, somebody has it much worse. And that's the fact that I'm doing filmmaking. I'm able to tell stories. I try not to take that for granted, because it could be worse,
That's a great philosophy. It really is. But I want to get into a little bit about your process, because we have a lot of filmmakers and actors and actresses and stuff that watch the show. So I want to get into your particular process. When you go ahead and you decide, all right, I'm going to shoot a film. Okay. What is your process? I mean, do you start with getting the script together? Do you start with starting to put your team together? Do you keep a lot of the same people in front of the camera behind it? Does the crowdfunding factor into it? Is that how you raise most of your funds, investors?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the team process.
Absolutely. And that's a really good question, because as many podcasts as I've been on, I have never been asked that question. So thank you so much. Something new that we can talk about. The funny thing with this project, I had a script that I was going to shoot because originally this project was put on hold because the original writer had some health problems, and I didn't hear nothing for 9 months. So I'm like, wow. Ooh. So what do I do? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to pivot projects. This was the project my mind. It stayed on my mind, but the show must go on. So I'm like, well, I can shoot this. And although my mind was still on somewhere else, and then finally, I reached out to another screenwriter who that I talked to a lot. Didn't even realize that he wrote his own scripts and he's willing to write for someone else. And I was like, man, I would love to get this. And he's like, well, what do you have? And I sent over the notes. And 2 weeks later, here you go.
Wow.
And it's even better than what I thought it was even better than the original. So to the point, I'm sorry, I was a little ramble, but to the point, I usually like to have the script in my hand before I plan. And then I usually work with the same crew, but in the Desperate, I end up needing more than what the original DP I had for my project Broken Innocence and Desperate. I needed a full man crew and just a certified team, and he just didn't have that. So I had to go and find a new DP, which was like finding a new marriage. But it was a much better fit. And he is so specific. So if you look at the trailer for the Desperate, he has such an eye. I really admire his DP skills and just his team in general. So I was a no-brainer. I'm like, hey, you're my filmmate. He has everything that I need, and so we are already planning on working this. So usually I keep the crew first. When I go with acting, I generally already have an idea of who I want as the screenplay is coming about. I don't really do cold reads or auditions. I've always knew who I wanted before, because a lot of times I feel bad, because a lot of times people are like, hey, when are you gonna hold auditions? And I have to see it. And usually when I'm reading a script, a certain particular person comes to my mind, and then I obsess on getting that person, and I never really have a fallback of, well, if that doesn't work out, because usually 9 times out of 10, the person I'm thinking of, and I reach out to them, I'm like, oh my God, thank you for thinking of me. I was like, thank you for being excited. And sometimes I cast people and it didn't work out as well. But most of the time, 85% of the people I've cast, I've never regretted.
That's a good ratio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then once you do that, what's the next step?
So a lot of times then each project I learn to be a lot more specific about my needs and wants, because I'm a needy director. I'm a director. I don't want to cast you and then we don't talk and then we're figuring it out on set. Time is money. I want somebody who really I really want somebody who is very interested in the project just as much as me. When I mentioned Leonora, we were on the phone daily, going over character development. That tells me that you believe in quality over quantity. I'm not interested in booking people who are on set every week. That doesn't interest me. It tells me that you don't have time to really dive into your character. And it's just like, I wish one thing I would like to say to actors is that if somebody choose you, don't treat it as another notch on a belt, because if you look at Hollywood and SAG, Hollywood has over 133,000 SAG actors, but only 33,000 of them are working.
Wow.
Don't be that one that, you know what I mean? There's so many people that could get the job and they chose you. Embrace it. Like, that should be a blessing. It should be a blessing on both sides. Like me working with Leonard Peterson, the third, for Blood on the Bleachers and the Desperate.
Oh, that guy was amazing. That guy was really good.
He did really good in Blood on the Bleachers, right? But wait till you see him in the Desperate. He is like, I'm like, where have you been? And the crazy thing, he's in my hometown. I'm like, he was in my backyard the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I actually auditioned for you 3 times, Chase Dudley.
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking him up after I watched Blood on the Bleachers, and I was like, I can't believe this guy hasn't been in more stuff yet.
Special. He is something special. Him, John Bosler. I know he's gonna play. John, what I love about John is he says only what he needs to say, and he doesn't say more than that. He's a very specific choice of words, and he can stare at you, and you're just like, "We good? You gonna get a fist bump?" Working with Casey Renee, she's this is going to be my second time working with her. I worked with her on a much smaller scale in Blood on the Bleachers. And when I, was going over the script and was reading, I instantly thought about her. And we talked. And I was originally talking to several other people. But after... Yes, Doug would go to the store. He's sending me pictures. I would tell him, okay, I want this specific cigar. He would send me a picture, and he got like 9 cigars. And he got all of them like in his mouth closed up. And it's just like, dude, that's what I like. I get geeked out when I see actors having fun, getting prepared for the role, because again, it's a vision, and that vision that you always imagine, and once you see it come in full real time, then you're just like, oh man, this is exactly how and you gush out about it, and it's like I get so excited. And I'm a person, like, I read off energy. Like sometimes I talk to people and they're so like, and I know everybody's energy is different, but sometimes like if I'm like, even interested. Like, you remember when I don't know if you watch basketball. I know you watch football. Mm-hmm. But remember when Shaquille O'Neal won a national championship and a guy interviewed him was more excited than Shaq was?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Shaq, you won! How do you feel? I feel good. That kind of, I don't know, like I have a hard time when people are that calm. I overanalyze, like, because I'm always thinking. Like, I got a headache today just from thinking too much of like what can I do. I'm because I'm always thinking, and it's like I can't shut it off. I have to take sleeping pills to go to sleep because I can't sleep. And if I was just to lay down,
you do Rick's method and just not sleep.
No, yeah.
Well, I swear I always sleep like 4 hours a day. Because
Me too.
By the time I hit all my goals of everything that I was doing, by the time I lay in the bed, it's like 2 o'clock, and I get up 7 o'clock, and I get my son up, and we, take him to daycare and everything, and eat breakfast with them, and so I only get about 4 hours of sleep. Successful people don't sleep 8 hours. I'm just going to throw that out there. Steve Harvey made a really good point about that. About millionaires don't sleep 8 hours. You wake up 11 o'clock, half the day is already decided. While you was asleep. And I that is something that have always really, I get up super early, and I like getting up early because it's quiet. And that quiet time, sleep is overrated. I would do that when I die.
I mean, my daughter just the other day was talking to me because they're trying to plan this family cruise, that they want to go out on this cruise next year, whatever it is. And I kept thinking, I'm not a big cruise guy. But the main thing I keep thinking is that once you're on that ship, there's so much stuff that I want to be doing, whether it's for the magazine or a script or moving stuff along. And it just
you're like me. Like when I'm on a vacation, I'm like, in my head is just like,
exactly. Always.
And it's such a hard thing to explain. And I'm glad that I found someone, because relationships could be very problematic for filmmakers, whether you're an actor or director, because it's something that people used to guilt me for always thinking about, that you're like,
But also what you're doing is for their future and their benefit in the future. Like I told my daughter, when I'm making Indie Horror Junkie and turning this into the brand and the magazine, I said, I'm trying to build something that I can one day, when I leave or whatever it is, I can leave this to you and you guys can continue it on, and have Amy continue it on, and have something, after I'm gone. And film is eternal, long after you're gone, generations later, people may go back and look at Blood on the Bleachers and stuff like that, or Broken Innocence, and see something.
100%. I mean, if you're not busy, then chances are, if you want to pay the bills, it's not going to pay itself. And I think seeing people do something that they absolutely do not enjoy, and just looking at the statistic, over 95% of people who worked hated what they do for a living, and they spent 80% of that being at that place where they do not enjoy. That was not for me. I was like, I gotta do what I love doing, and because we're not gonna get value out of each other if I hate being here, and then you gotta look at your, like, how many sick points can I take? Brett Wagner. I almost met him this October. He was at another convention. I got to meet Felissa Rose. And stay tuned, because I got an announcement coming soon.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. I'm actually going to be working with him and Felissa Rose. In Living in the Dead.
Look at that.
I'm not going to disclose what they're going to be doing, but we tried to work together before. Felissa had, she definitely, I forgot, like, it was like a booking and it just didn't work out. But seeing her in person and working, and how good she is with their fan base, and how good of an actress she is,
they love her.
Seeing her in Hard Place.
Man. That was a great character. That was a great character for her.
So I was like, I really want to work with you. Like, she is very energetic. She has really amazing people skills, and she's so personable. That's what what really attracted me to want to work with her. Is like, I love people who are very personable. And
yes,
when you make a movie, man, you're like, that's it. Like, you may or may not see each other again. And I try to take that moment to make sure that we make the best of that moment. And Blood on the Bleachers, it was that moment. Like, it was like the most chilled set. Everybody, it was the funnest movie I've ever made. Just in terms, because of the slasher, the Desperate, it wasn't necessarily like a bad experience. It was just the Desperate. I think it was so much going on. Like, we had a really big crew, we had a really big cast. I just did like I didn't really have a lot of time to really get to know each other. I felt like it was in that movie Click, where, like, I felt like a button was clicked and I'm like, oh, we filmed? Because it was so hectic. It was so much going on. Like, and then we got a lot of rain. It was raining for 2 days, and we were like, what we're gonna do. There was so many scenes, and there was a lot of outdoor shots. And luckily all of it worked out. I mean, we got some great footage. It was one time, it was the most stressful day of my entire career, but it was so worth it. But it was one of those things. It it was a calling. It was like that moment what it felt like to feel like a Hollywood director. Because I was directing 3 scenes at the same time.
Oh wow!
A drone is in the air. We're shooting a really big shootout scene, and I'm directing 3 scenes. My wife is over there directing another scene. We had 2 units for the first time. We were having 2 units shooting, and I'm like, wow, this is insane. So like it, and just how the trailer came together and how cinematic and how good that looked. I'm like, that looks like a whole different tier, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Really excited, but time has escaped us here. We could be on here for 2 hours. So before we get ready to close,
I didn't even feel like it's been an hour. I felt like
I just happened to glance up. But I do have one more comment here from Doug. Love Felissa, how's post-production going on The Desperate? And when are you aiming to complete? Let's get that one real quick, and then we'll tell everybody they can find you.
I'm gonna tell you this. Johnny is very specific. He is not a person where he's not overly fast. He's like Dr. Dre, where Dr. Dre would take a long time to make a perfected beat. And with this movie, since he's editing and he's doing sound design, and you've seen how great that trailer is, Johnny is very specific, and I'm not going to rush this process. I'm going to take our sweet time with this film. Blood of the Bleachers was surprisingly a very fast turnaround. We did have an agreement where it would be like a 6 to 9 month post production.
Wow.
And he can make that deadline. So, but I definitely, right now he's syncing all of the audio up along with so right now we're just getting to, it's a lot of footage. We're looking at like a 2-hour movie.
Wow.
But this one is a much faster pace. Like Blood of the Bleachers was a much faster pace than my movie Broken Innocence, but this one is bonkers. It's like a on to go movie. Like, so it's like they're being chased and they have these people after them, and it's like, it's one of those movies. It's just so many pieces moving. I've never, like, the fact that he had like gear and equipment to mount cameras on the car. We're driving, we're chasing. I was like, dude, this really legit feels like an action movie, like on the Hollywood set. I could not believe we were shooting some of the things that we were shooting.
I'm certainly looking forward to it for sure.
And seeing the squibs, like Zach Elston with the squibs, and seeing people get shot, and like seeing pow, and then seeing matter come out of them. I'm like,
nice.
This movie is going to be very, very violent and very fun. It's nice. I could not believe how good it turned out.
I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for you.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have been so supportive. I love both of you guys. And you guys are doing great work. Just the trailers I was watching before you guys bought me in, I'm like, dude, this looks great. I already see the clock, but some of the stuff I'm like, I can't wait to see.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. We're here to promote anything that you put out there. As a matter of fact, before we close things out, why don't you let people know where they can reach you and where they can catch up on everything going on?
The best place to reach me is Facebook. I have an Instagram, but Facebook is so busy with the following I have. The presence on Facebook is just it's so much traffic where I'm like, please, I have to have like an automatic message because it's like so many messages I get every day. It's really crazy because like 3 years ago,
I know I'm guilty of like commenting on almost everything you post.
No, thank you so much. And it's like when people are like, hey, you didn't respond, I'm like, dude, please don't take it personal. It's just like over trying to respond to that on top of, I don't know how James Gunn did. That cannot be James Gunn. Like you're set directing Superman and you're answering questions.
Right, it's a little suspect.
That's an intern, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's an experience that I've never thought that I would ever experience, and I'm so grateful for it. My family have been so good to me, and like my kids helping on set. I couldn't be more blessed. I have no complaints.
All right.
That's
well,
awesome.
Sounds great. Once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for filling us in and all this stuff.
Thank you for having me. This was great. It didn't even feel like an hour. I'm like,
I know. I just looked up the clock.
You're like, we ran out of time, and I'm like, we only been on it for like 15 minutes. When you oh, it is 9:05.
Well, we got into talking about Tarantino and everything else, and that sucked everything up. So, yeah.
I know. I apologize. Well,
no, don't apologize. We're filmmakers.
Who's my influences and inspiring? I'm like, oh man, yeah, we got to dive into that. But
no worries at all. All right, but like I said before the show, don't go anywhere. I'm going to take you off screen here real quick. We're going to close the show, and then we'll give you a proper goodbye real quick here, okay?
All right, cool.
Thank you again, Chase. We'll talk to you in just a few.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we should expand this to 2 hours. Because
maybe an hour and 15 just to see how it goes.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to him about, so we'll have to do it offline. But thank you guys for everybody that chimed in, showed him some love and stuff. Chase is a great guy. Yeah. I've been following his work for a long time, and it was so good to have him on the show, and I'm sure we'll have him on again in the future. So, thank you again for checking us out, and I guess that's it, right? You want to say goodbye, Lance?
I appreciate everybody tuning in, and Rick, I always appreciate you having me on here, filling in for Amy. So,
love having you.
Boss lady's got a lot going on.
Yeah, she does. All right, guys, we'll see everybody next Wednesday.